Parents, if you can figure out your ego and your expectations, you'll probably be a great parent and you'll probably raise great kids. Some research shows that if you want your kids to like you, then you have to lower your expectations. But I say, wait a second, hold on, that sounds weird. I'm not gonna lower my expectations on my kids. I think we should raise kids with high expectations. We are their parents, not their friends. It's our job to bring out the best in them, to raise great kids, responsible, full of integrity, grit, hard work, morals. I'm not about to lower my expectations. That sounds freaking wacky. You're the only one in the whole wide world that's gonna push your kid to be their best version of themselves, so do it. The key is the other E word. It's not expectations, it's ego. It's our own ego that gets us in trouble as parents. Ego is like the evil stepsister of expectations. It's disguised as the same thing, but it's not. They're different. Ego means we've crossed the line. Expectations is, I expect you to push yourself and do something great with your life. Ego is, I know exactly what you should do, and that's not great. Only what's great is what I say. Not having expectations is like, oh, you figure out your own life, yeah. You do you. Ego sounds like, no, that's not good enough. You're not good enough. One of my favorite ways to help us parents to thrive in this is to talk about dentists. First of all, dentists are great. They're super smart doctors that know a lot about the mouth. Now imagine you're a dentist, which means you're a really organized person, you're really into details, and you care a lot about oral health, and you know a lot about how important it is to have oral health, but then your kids are not you. And they like sweets, and they don't like flossing, and they don't like brushing. They're like normal kids. Can you imagine the pain that must feel? Have your ego hurt as a dentist when you find out that your kids are not like you and they don't want to do exactly what you tell them to do? That must be so hard. Shout out to all you dentists. So what are you going to do if you're a dentist and your kids are not into this stuff? You're going to freak out. You're going to be a weirdo. You're going to shame them. You're going to judge them. You're going to punish them. You're going to become such a... Your kids don't want to be around you. What are you going to do when your ego is so affected and you're so afraid because your kids are not like you? That is a question for the ego. See, you have expectations. You're a dentist, but the ego is hit. What are you going to do? I hope you noticed by now, but we're all dentists. We're all dentists in this story. All of us think we know what's right, what's best. All of us think we're super smart. All of us have these big fears, and we don't want our kids to do this because it's so scary, and don't do that because it's so bad, and you better do this, and you better not do that, and I'm smart, and you're not. How are you going to cope when your kids reject your values, your normals, your teachings, your expectations? How are you going to cope? It's going to happen to you. It's already happened to me. It's going to happen to all the dentists out there. That's why one of my favorite sayings of all time is you got to parent the child you have and not the child you want. And if you are so caught up in your own ego, in your own head, in your own, I'm super smart, or I'm super afraid, you better not go down this path, well then you're going to be weird. Your kids probably won't like you. They might distance themselves from you. They might be deceptive or lying or sneaky or defiant or worse. When they get older, they just might be like, peace out. It's very, very sensitive topic right there. But that's exactly what's happened to a lot of our generation. We've kind of said peace out to our own parents because their ego is just so, they couldn't stop. They were just so caught up in their ways and they had no self-control. Their expectations for this and that was just too much. This is why we can do this. We can keep our expectations very high in our kids, but we also have self-awareness of our own ego. And then the answer is very clear. Here comes the answer. Is love. Is love. Filling our hearts and our words with love, because love is always the answer and will help us to manage our expectations and be mindful of our crazy egos. Need more help? Contact me.